Hey everyone, Brandon Lee with LudiaTV, and we're at Field Service Palm Springs. It's bright and sunny outside, lots of great stuff going on inside, and I was able to get Hector to come join me. Hector did the keynote yesterday, so Hector, Garcia Tellado, I did it right, Garcia Tellado from Microsoft. Yes. Welcome, Hector.
Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
So Hector, you did the keynote yesterday, and Microsoft's really doing a lot of deep work with field service. Can you share a little bit about what you talked about yesterday and what's Microsoft's investment in field service?
Yeah, absolutely. So yesterday, most of my keynote I spent just providing the point of view of Microsoft around the future of Gen AI in the era of field service in the era of Gen AI, which is super important. It's probably the biggest transformation we've had over the last 30 years in the space. And kind of like what are some of the priorities that we're seeing, like this big attrition, big burnout in the frontline workforce, as well as how can AI help them achieve more? How can it help them with repetitive tasks and knowledge, etc. And ultimately sending a message that the future is bright. And we think that Gen AI is here to empower field service technicians and workers and actually not replace them. So we feel really good. And it's never been a bigger investment for us in field service and Gen AI in general.
Wow. That's a big statement. Never been a bigger investment in it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're growing super fast and the team is bigger than ever and we continue to expand.
Yeah, sounds good. And I know that field service itself is going through a lot of transformation. We got this silver tsunami that we've talked about. There's a challenge with workforce getting in place. What are some of the ways that you see what Microsoft is doing and Copilot and generative AI is really going to help that industry?
I think Copilot is the name of the game in Copilot is like the micro efficiency gains, right? Like, can you shave a couple of minutes from your work order by providing a faster summary? Can you shave a little bit of time just by digitalizing your templates and turning into an inspection? Can you save a little bit of time with optimized scheduling, etc.? So that's just on the end of the day, on the bottom line, it's just gonna accrue to tremendous productivity, right? But at the end of the day, it has to be user-friendly, right? Technicians, dispatchers, and managers need to be incentivized to use it. They shouldn't feel it as a threat. They should feel it like a really good tool for them. So those, I think, are the two most important points. How do you actually combine the efficiency gains in a way that feels welcoming and good for the users and the personas so they can feel empowered to achieve more?
Small gains, get the team to buy in, make sure that it's working well for everybody. As companies are looking at this and they're starting to make decisions, what are your recommendations? I mean, this is overwhelming. AI, it's like came on the scene and is just taken over. What do you recommend for companies they're nervous?
Yeah, I just think strategically, right? Just like they say in hockey, think of where the puck is going, right, versus what it is today. The amount of improvement we're going to see in AI, it's going to be absolutely exponential, right? We're already starting to see audio and video. So forget about it, AI as like a chat interface. That's only the tip of the spear. So just think strategically about this, like your journey to the cloud. Right, don't think about feature by feature comparison. Just think about which provider is going to give you that confidence that the roadmap and the investments are aligned to what the future of business applications. This is really going to revolutionize the way we think about business apps, right? So think about which players you think have more incentive to move forward and be progressive about it, and they're going to tell you where you want to go, because the future will be made through the progress that we all do together. So which one's the right provider for you to continue moving that forward?
So revolutionize is a strong term, and I know you really believe it. Why are you so confident in using that term and talking about what AI is doing right now?
Yeah, I think there's three key points why the AI revolution now is different. Number one is ease of use. Right, it's way much easier to use than before. The chat interface, having a conversation back and forth, understanding why the algorithm told you the following thing, asking, etc. So that's number one. Number two, personalization. The ability, now we have this RAG models, which basically allow you to upload your documents, and without you having to use those documents to train the model, basically the model is able to use those documents, right? So it's almost like a bring your own documentation without having to touch the model, which is huge. And it's very different than when people were used with traditional ML. So personalization, you can create a field service bot in 10 minutes using Copilot Studio or Dynamics, right? And then the third one is kind of the fact that it innovates so fast. Right, even the change from 355 and 4, etc., and all the new models that are coming, whether it's Llama, whether it's Phi, and all the new models that have been coming, that speed of innovation is really what is making, and the change makes me believe that this is a time like we've never seen before.
Truly revolutionary. Now, last question. I know you're busy.
No worries.
Thank you for taking the time with me. After your keynote yesterday, I'm sure a lot of people came up and they had questions or were talking with you. What are they talking about? What are they asking you?
Yeah, actually, most of the feedback I got on the keynote was like, "Wow, I didn't realize Microsoft was so invested in the future of frontline," or "Wow, I didn't take that perspective from AI from a user standpoint." And because one of the my key messages was like, let's create the future together, right? We have a lot of like field service thought leaders here, regardless of the vendor that you are in or the space that you're playing in. I think this is all for us to collectively push this space forward. So I think more than questions, what I got was a lot of like comments around, wow, I didn't realize, you guys were so into it in the context of field service, which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, you're here. You were the keynote. I mean, I think those are all big statements about Microsoft's commitment to field service for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think actions speak louder than words. So we're here and we're here to stay, and I'm having a blast getting to know everybody, and it's an absolutely fantastic experience.
Okay, one last question then. We go forward 12 months. We're back here, field service, Palm Springs next year. What's that conversation going to be like, do you think? What's going to happen in the next 12 months in this space?
I think we're going to continue to see a push on Gen AI, but also even more with autonomous, right? Like we have, human in the loop chat interface, you type, but I think we're going to start also to see some automation in AI. So for example, you receive an email from a customer and automatically creates a work order with human intervention, or I can actually turn something into an inspection template, or automatically book it without you doing something, or say, one of my technicians is sick, so they send a Teams message to the manager, but Copilot is already listening to that. They don't have to send the email to the manager. They just send it to Copilot, and then scheduling Copilot just takes them out of the roster and puts a new person. So we're going to start to see those automation very fast.
Wow, that's fascinating stuff, and efficiency and time saving and stress relief for a lot of people as well. Absolutely. Yeah, that's excellent.
Yes.
All right. Well, Hector, thank you so much for spending time with us on LudiaTV. I really appreciate it. I know you were busy, and thank you so much for spending time with me today.
No, I appreciate all the work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Hector Garcia Tellado with Microsoft. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode, and we'll see you next time.